Lesson 21, Standard Score, Example 6. In the last quarter, company ABC had a mean stock price of $23.52 with a standard deviation of $4.71. In the same quarter, company XYZ had a mean stock price of $86.40 with a standard deviation of $12.63. Which company currently has the relatively lower stock price if ABC is trading at $17.43 and XYZ is trading at $59.78? In order to answer this question, we need to determine which one has a relatively lower stock price. Lower is a measure of position, so the standard score needs to be calculated in order to compare the relative position of different data values. Since we only looked at data for the last quarter, we just have some sample data, so the sample versions of the standard scores will be used here. That is, we'll take the data value, subtract the sample mean, and divide that all by the sample standard deviation. Since company ABC is currently trading at $17.43, its current data value, or X, is $17.43. So we'll input $17.43 into the data value position on the company ABC's standard score formula. And since company XYZ is currently trading at $59.78, we will input the $59.78 into the X data value position in company XYZ's standard score formula. Now, we were given that company ABC had a mean stock price of $23.52. So X bar for company ABC that quarter was $23.52. So we'll input that value into the standard score formula. The company also had a standard deviation of $4.71 that quarter. So S for company ABC, the sample standard deviation that quarter is $4.71. So we'll input that value into the standard score formula for company ABC. In that very same quarter, company XYZ had a mean stock price of $86.40, given the X bar for company XYZ that quarter of $86.40. So we'll input that value into the standard score formula for company XYZ. It also had a standard deviation of $12.63. So S, the sample standard deviation that quarter for company XYZ, is $12.63. So we input that value into the standard score formula. Now we could use the TI-84 calculator to get these results. To calculate the standard score for company ABC's current stock price, press left parenthesis, $17.43, subtract $23.52, right parenthesis, divide by $4.71, enter. To calculate the standard score for company XYZ's current stock price, press left parenthesis, $59.78, subtract $86.40, right parenthesis, divide by $12.63, enter. So the final result for standard score calculations need to be rounded off to 2 places after the decimal. So the rounded off standard score for company's ABC's current stock price would be negative 1.29. And the standard score for company XYZ's current stock price rounds off to negative 2.11. So now we can compare the results. So now comparing the standard score for company XYZ's current stock price and company ABC's current stock price, we see that negative 2.11 is less than negative 1.29. So currently, company XYZ has the relatively lower stock price since its standard score of negative 2.11 is lower than company ABC's standard score of negative 1.29.